Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to this live development session. I'm Alex. You cannot see me because this is a splash screen and I'm talking in behind the splash screen because I'm super tired and I don't want to show my face. But welcome everyone. I don't know if someone's gonna show up because it's really late. It's an unusual time to do a live streaming and I'm just starting to just talking about random stuff. But the whole idea of this live streaming is just to show a little bit my process of coding with Vue.js. And let me switch the screen here and let me show my face. There you go. Hello. Hello guys. So I think the streaming is working. It's live. I'm gonna see if there's actually, yes, it's happening. So it's all working. It's all good. That's fantastic. I'm not gonna see this. Awesome. Okay, I have the live chat here. What's up, guys? What's up, Cyprian? What's up, Joseph? Thank you for being here. This is fantastic. And yes, I'm here to just code some Vue.js thing. I'm super excited because I finally got back my Gazelle from System 76. So I'm working on Elementary OS. This is Elementary OS. So it's oh, Ben. Hi, Ben. Ben McDonnell, ladies and gentlemen. I work with that guy. Is another developer here in Vancouver. He's an amazing developer that if you should definitely follow him. I don't know if he has some videos on, but it's an amazing Drupal developer. Front end is doing a bunch of like cool stuff. And yes, thank you for thank you for being here. While you're watching this, Ben, you should be asleep. It's late. Go to sleep. But Efosa, ciao. Someone is writing Italian. Oh, a lot of people. But anyway, let's not digress. Let's focus on what we're doing today. We are gonna code a little bit of Vue.js, and I already have a bunch of things going on. So first, what I'm coding is this thing. Let me switch this screen because you guys don't need to see my face, but you need to see my screen. Actually, let me shrink my face a little bit more. Okay, there you go. There you have it. Yes, everything is looking great. It's 9 a.m. in Finland. Yes, it's awesome. Joseph, I think I'm gonna be online for 1 hour. We'll see. It's really late here. It's like 11 p.m. I'm falling asleep. I've been working all day, so I don't know how long I'm gonna last. I'm gonna collapse. But usually what I do here, I'm gonna start like doing an overview of what I'm doing or what I will do this hour. Then I'm gonna start coding, and usually the coding, it's me doing a bunch of shit and doing everything wrong. So it's just like, I don't know what it is happening, what is wrong. And then after a while, the last 15-20 minutes, I usually answer all the questions from the users. So let's get started. What I was telling you, first of all, I'm on Elementary OS, and this is what I want to build today, or I'm trying to build today. So this is the website, the website design of the Nerd Continuity, the podcast that I do with Chris Perko. And yes, I did this super quick design. It's like a card-based design, component-based design, a really simple, really straightforward, nothing too complicated. We have like the header with a bunch of icons here, just a couple of sections, just 3 pages in total. The hero area, the top one, it's gonna be just the last uploaded video that podcast that you can play and listen, and then all the other podcasts below there. I decided to do all this thing with Vue.js. The entire front end is going to be based on Vue.js. I'm building a SPA, that is a single page application, so everything is built on Vue, and I'm doing it through the Vue CLI. The Vue CLI is this super sweet tool that basically bootstrap for you everything that you need to use for Vue.js in order to build a Vue.js. You can also not use the Vue CLI and set up everything for yourself, but this video is not going to be me showing you how to set up the Vue CLI. This is just a sort of like a sneak peek of how Vue.js works and what to do and what I like to do when I code Vue.js. The series about Vue.js, introduction, how to use it, how to install it, and all the little secrets is going to come soon. Probably it's going to come in a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. But so let's get started coding. So first I want to show you what am I at what moment, so what I did until now. Let me zoom this a little bit. So I'm going to put zoom level 3. Hope you guys can read it. I'm gonna close this. Can you read this? It's pretty readable, right? Okay, and this is the terminal. Let me zoom the terminal. Also, the terminal is nothing much to see. It's just like the usual stuff, but it usually what you do with the Vue CLI is just everything is managed through npm, that is the node package manager. So if I want to trigger the Vue CLI, I want to trigger my source code in order to speed out the building process of seeing what I'm building in JavaScript. I have to trigger the command npm run serve, and then we're gonna trigger the server, like the inline server of VueJS. Everything is gonna run, and now basically we have the local server or localhost 8080 up and running. So if I copy these and I go here and I change to my, I still have Inkscape open where I did this little thing. I don't need Inkscape, we can close it. But here, if I go to localhost port 8080, this is the page that I built so far. As you can see, it's completely different, like it's nothing like the design, but because I'm building this, but we have the header with these 3 pages, and you can see if I click on a page, it switches immediately, and it's actually like a page, a specific route. So I'm going to the sponsor, about, and list. And I also did so far a little bit of responsive UI, nothing much, but as you can see, like when I shrink down, the logo changes. These are like a different SVG, and if I go down to mobile, I completely drop the logo thanks to Flexbox. I align everything, and this, like I use the border bottom to have like the Alecaddd page. Something really simple, nothing too complicated. I'm not using Bootstrap, I'm not using Foundation, I'm using I'm using Tailwind CSS, that if you don't know what it is, you should definitely check that out. It's tailwindcss.com. It's a utility first CSS library. It's not really a framework. This is like called a framework, but it's more like it's basically a full JavaScript page where you can generate all your classes, and automatically it's gonna generate the classes for you. So if I access the Tailwind file, everything is managed through a tailwind.js file. And Tailwind, basically what you can do in JavaScript, you define the list of colors that you're gonna use, and then you can define also here the different screen resolutions for your responsive, and then you can define the fonts, the margin, blah blah blah. And then when you compile with npm or webpack or gulp, when you compile with a compiler, is going to generate your CSS for you. So you don't actually write CSS. You just write this snippet of codes in JavaScript, and automatically it spits out the CSS for you. And you can use the CSS in your page. So if we, for example, access the header.vue, that is the Vue file that I created for the header, you can see I'm using all these little snippet of CSS classes that I didn't actually create. The MD column stands for this class, that is the width 64 rem. It's available and usable only in the medium size, medium up. Then we have a PY that stands for padding Y, so padding top and bottom of 6. And it's hidden and it's as small as a block. So it's kind of like, seems complicated, seems convoluted, but when you get used to Tailwind CSS, it's really easy to prototype and build all the things like super quickly. So yeah, let's continue building this thing. So now what I have here in my folder structure, this is like a kind of like a usual Vue.js folder structure where all these configuration file and the Vue config is there, the bubble config, the package.json is there, all the usual shenanigans of every JavaScript framework, it's out there. But the main thing, it's in the source folder. The source folder has everything that you need in order to build your app, and our app is just app.vue. So what I'm doing here, I'm importing the component header that I created, I'm registering the component header as a component, and then I'm printing it as a component. So it sounds complicated, but I'm gonna create now the hero area. So I wanna generate this thing. The hero area is gonna be like a full width area with a background image and a sort of background color and a bunch of shit. And I don't wanna build this in the header because this section will disappear in other pages. So I wanna show these only in the home page. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. First of all, let's create in the components folder, this is a partial, it's a nav link, or let's keep it in the components. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it like hero.vue. The VueJS file is for file changing this large workspace. Sorry, whatever. I zoom too much and Visual Studio Code is freaking out because, of course, Microsoft. I love this code editor, but sometimes freaks out. But who cares that you cannot follow the changes? Okay, I created this hero.vue. Vue is the extension of a Vue template. So first that we have to do is create the template boilerplate. The template boilerplate is literally template and closing the template tag. Inside here, we can write all our HTML, div, whatever. And for Vue.js, if you don't know, something like that I didn't know at the beginning, but it's pretty straightforward. If you have multiple markup elements inside the template tag, you need to wrap everything around one single markup. You cannot have multiple markups altogether. So for example, if I want to write an h1 tag, not the header, I said an h1 tag, and this is the h1, something like that. And then I have, for example, like a paragraph tag, and this is the paragraph. This is gonna trigger an error for Vue.js, and I also have the ESLinter here that validate my template. So in Vue.js, in Microsoft Visual Studio Code, I have I set it up in order to watch my file, and whenever I make a mistake, I have this error. But this error is because I have two HTML elements in the template. If I have multiple HTML elements, I have to wrap this thing around one single HTML markup that can be managed by Vue. So I can open a div and close it to wrap everything around the div. So now this works because everything is wrapped around the div. So now we have this really simple template. And if you watch the terminal, nothing happens. It's not compiling anything because yes, I created a new hero.vue file, but it's not hooked to the main Vue.js app, I would say. So first, before doing anything else, let's create the script tag, which is the important tag in order to export and allow Vue to read the new Vue.js file that we created. So the script is just a simple script like you were for writing like JavaScript inline in your HTML. And the first thing that you have to do, always export the default. This is a JavaScript thing that basically you export all the things that are inside there. It's really simplistic the way that I'm explaining, but that's the wording that I know. You have all your scripts and the data, the methods, and all the things that you can do in your Vue template. You have to export them in order for Vue to read them, in order for Vue to access all those stuff that you have in that template. If you don't export the default stuff, if you don't export the default and wrap everything around, it won't be readable by anything else. So we can leave it like that. This is a pretty standard, straightforward, started Vue.js template. Now, if I want to have this hero.vue visible inside my homepage, and only the homepage, or actually first let's include it inside the app. So let's open the app.vue, and let's say that I want to import the hero. So what I have to do exactly what I have here. So import hero, that is the name of the file, and the naming has to be exactly identical from, and I have to specify the location of that file. The @ in the Vue CLI stands for the root directory. So the root directory is the source folder, src, source folder. So @ stands for source folder. And then I say, okay, go inside the components folder and then search for this hero. As you can see, I don't have to specify the .vue extension because Vue.js knows that it needs to search for a .vue extension. So hero. Okay, I have it. And as you can see now, I have this little error here because I saved, and now that I'm pulling the hero component, I have the running of the script. Hey, something is going on. The script runs in the terminal to compile, but it's giving me a linting issue here. I have a trailing space. I shouldn't have a trailing space because these shouldn't be like spaces, but should be tabs. So this is now a tab. Okay, save it. And if I save, it compiles now, everything should be fine. No, still compiles, trailing space is not allowed. Okay, it's just a linting error. cares? This is not a... Okay, do I do this? No, okay. Let me export the default. So I'm gonna check one little thing here. I have in another screen the documentation because of course I don't remember everything I do. That would be pretty insane. But let me open a simple components, partials, modal, and then export props show. No, I need to export the data. Heroes, place hero. Okay, let's export the data here because probably doesn't like to have this empty, I guess. No, still hero.view online. I updated the hero.view. Cannot what? Cannot see it? Save it. Warning. This is so weird. Okay, I don't care. It's just an ESLint. We're not having any issue. But anyway, let's continue. Now that we have the hero component pulled from the components and we imported it, we cannot use it directly in the template. We have to register inside this components array, components object. So we need to specify literally hero. And if I don't need to rename it, I can specify just like that. And now I can use this hero component here like it was a self-closing HTML markup, which is fantastic. So I have this here. Let me open my HTML page and let me go here. Let me refresh. Yes, this is okay. Let me put it below the route view. It's there. You cannot see it, but it's underneath because the header is fixed. So let me just move it underneath the router view that has the margin top of 16. So router view here, if I go, there you go. This is the H1 and this is the paragraph. So I imported the hero component. It's inside the page, and it doesn't matter which page I switch. It's always there because I imported it inside the main hero, the main app.view. You can see here we have this router view. The router view basically prints the content of whatever route we specified, and the router.js takes care of specifying what we have to watch. So I'm importing the home. You can see the behavior and the approach is always the same. We want to print a page in the route. You have to import it like it was a regular component. And then you have to say in the list of routes in the router, if we hit the path, the /, which is the route path, name it home and include the component home, which is the basic view. If we hit the about, import the view's about. If we hit the sponsor, import the view sponsor. You could also do import here, about and sponsor. You could import them, preload them, but that means that all the JavaScript code that is inside those pages will be preloaded all together before the application is ready. If you import them dynamically as a component here, the JavaScript automatically, the Vue CLI will split the JavaScript code in chunks, and when you access the page, we'll load the JavaScript off that page. So it's super light. It just loads what the user needs to see, and it doesn't load extra JavaScript that you don't need, which is fantastic. But okay, so what I want to do now, I don't need this hero area always everywhere inside the page. Actually, I want to move it. I want this hero area only inside the home page. So let's access the view in the home page. This is the home inside. Perfect. So I want the hero area here. And of course, now this is going to trigger an error because, hey, we don't have the hero here. Okay, let's fix this. Let's remove the hero from here. Let's unregister the hero. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Home. Let's access here. And let's import, and let's be sure that we're hitting, yes, the right component hero and component hero. Okay, save it. Let's go back here. Perfect. Now the home page, and you can see, because I'm using the Vue CLI, this has built-in auto reload and browser sync auto reload. So I don't have to reload this page. It just accesses already there. I have the H1 and the paragraph that I specify, and then I have the about page and the sponsor page that don't have that, only the HTML of the home page. So now we can do some HTML. let's code. We can close the home, we can close the router, we can close the app. We don't have to edit it anymore. We can focus on the hero. And the hero, let's check once again the design. So we have this, say this is a 400 and it's full screen, and then we have the container at the center. Okay, let's do it. Template, we can use this div. Let's use flexbox, so we can use class flex. This should be with full. And let's give it a BG of gray. And let's give it also a built-in padding. No, we don't have any padding here. Okay, let's leave it like that. And then let's say that here we want another div that has a class of flex. Actually, width. Let's give it a width. So I kind of remember the Tailwind CSS classes, that's why I'm doing this, but this should be with Excel. And let's align. So actually, let me do it for you in the front end here. Oh, this is not compiling. The hero is not compiling. Before data return script template if class. The hero is not compiling because this is still okay. Let me trigger once again npm run serve and see if it can recognize all the changes to my hero. Can you do that? No, you can't. Data, what is that? Missing space before function parentheses. Oops. Save. Okay, I solved all the compiling issue, and if I access here, let's refresh this. Okay, now I have this thing. Okay, let's give it a height of 64, something like, just to have it. Okay, now I'm using Tailwind, and I'm gonna do this thing directly in the browser, so you can see how dynamically all the things change thanks to Tailwind CSS, which is fantastic. Let me put some content in here because I don't have anything. So let's say that this is an H4 and this is the title, just as an example. Okay, so as the design, I need to have the content, which is the title. It has this padding top here, and is aligned to the center, and is as big as the container here. So the container that I specify here, this is a flex full width, max width 2XL. So I have to do exactly the same, basically. I'm gonna specify that this div is flex, and then flex 1, actually flex 1, and then width full, and then max width of 2XL. Boom. Okay, perfect. I have this container as big as the top one, but it's not center aligned. So in order to center align, I can use flexbox and say, hey, justify this content to the center. Boom. Look what we have here. The center alignment. Perfect. And now let's give it margin top of 8, I guess. No, even more. Let's give it a margin top, the double. I want the double, 16. Perfect. Yes. Okay, let's copy these classes and apply them here. And let's remember these to be justify center. There you go. There you go. Everything is keeping it in place, which is great. It's fantastic. Are you guys holding up? Are you bored? Okay, I guess let's take a break because I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna read a bunch of questions. Are you guys still there? How many people we have here? 14 people watching. Oh, this is fantastic. Ben, are you still awake? Did you drop? Did you go to sleep? Okay, let me read some questions. Okay, Ahmed said, hi from Malaysia. Oh, it's not late, it's 9 AM in Finland. That's great. Hope you will post this video in your channel for late watch. Yes, I'm always recording these videos while I'm live streaming. So after a while, YouTube should automatically post it, probably after a couple of hours, but you should be able to watch it after. It's 2 AM in New York, but you got an hour to kill, Joseph. Wow. It's 2 AM in New York. You're from New York. I love New York. I visited New York last year and I want to go back. So can I come to your place? No, sorry, it's appropriate. You asked me if I was going to use some framework like Bootstrap or Foundation. Yes, I'm using Tailwind CSS. You should definitely check that out. It's amazing. It's better than Bootstrap, better than Foundation. Heidi Cias as watching during lunchtime there in the Philippines. Amazing, thanks so much. Watching from Memphis. Are you gonna use Vuex? Yes, I already have set up Vuex store. Mohad asks. I already have Vuex store, but I'm not gonna use it today. I'm gonna use it probably in the next live development session or during the tutorials. It looks nice. Thank you, Matthew. What operating system is that? Elementary OS. This is Elementary OS, and I'm running Juno beta. There you go. Elementary OS 5 Judo is the beta version that was released recently, and it's fantastic. I love it so much on my Gazelle. A theme development with VueJS is following this. By the way, big fan here. Ophiel, yes, I'm building a VueJS website. When are you publishing Laravel tutorials, sir? When I finish the WordPress tutorials for the plugin. The plugin is almost done. We are probably 10 videos, 20 tops if I delude myself and I keep talking too much. But yeah, 20 videos tops, and the WordPress series is gonna be over. I'm gonna start at the same time VueJS and Laravel, alternating one video VueJS, one video Laravel from scratch for beginners developer. It's gonna be amazing. Fading out here, Ben. Yes, I know, me too. It's so hard. I don't know why I did this, Ben, but thanks for sticking around. How about SEO in Vue.js? Milad, that's a really great question. Vue.js has SSR, that means server-side rendering. And the server-side rendering is basically simulate that your page, even if it's built in JavaScript, is actually generated by the server. So it gets spit out like a static HTML page, which is fantastic for SEO. Google recently, not so recently actually, 2 or 3 months ago, announced that doesn't matter if you're building a full app in JavaScript, because Google can now read JavaScript and can read the information on your JavaScript, even if it's dynamically generated. I don't really trust that, because an HTML page, it's better, like it's easier to read than a JavaScript page. But yes, Vue.js, React, even the more recent version of Angular, all these frameworks, they all come with server-side rendering. So it's okay. It's gonna be in the tutorial anyway. So you're gonna learn how to do this thing, and I'm losing my voice. Olivier, hello from Quebec. Oh, hello, another fellow Canadian. Hello from Romania, Europe. Hey, hello. From Quebec, it's so late. It's 2 a.m. like in New York now. What are you doing? Up. But yeah, I love, I have to visit. I'm gonna visit in October. I'm gonna go to Toronto, Montreal in October. Are you there? Can I stay at your place? I'm trying to find places to stay. But let's continue coding this page. So now we have the header here. And as I said, because I remember the classes of Tailwind, but if I don't remember something, I just simply go to Tailwind CSS website, and there's a built-in search engine. Fantastic. So I want to check the spacing of this thing, because I don't remember there's a class that it's bigger than 64 to have like the header bigger than that. I'm gonna search for spacing, and I have here immediately spacing. So we have all the available spaces is 32. The top, the biggest 32. No, I need to search the height. There you go. The height, we have height 64, or height full screen, or height screen. So we don't have a bigger height for the top. Like the biggest one is 64, which is 16 rem, relative emphasis. What we can do, we can edit Tailwind CSS. So we can go here and open our Tailwind JS file and go to height section, not line height, search for the height. There you go. We have the height. There we have all the declaration of the height, and the top one is 64. So I could go 64. Let's add another one, for example, like 12, 64, 32, 48, 64. This is 80. Let's go 20 RAM, and let's put a comma. If we save it, now our terminal npm is compiling everything, so that's fantastic. Now we can do this. We can have an h of 80, and that should do it. There you go. Now we have the height at 64, which is fantastic. But I don't want the full height of 64, but I want the min height at 64. But min height doesn't exist, so let's give it height at 64, and if it goes higher, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's keep it like that, and then the height is going to be defined by the content. Let's put all the content that we have in here. So we have the episode number, the title, a bunch of metadata information, the player, and then the bottom part. The bottom part is going to be interesting because we're going to use Flexbox. So another interesting thing about Flexbox. Let's say that, okay, we have the, let's say this is the H3, which is the, no, actually H4, it's fine. This is the episode 33. Then we have the H2, which is the title of the episode, the title of the episode. We can say this. Then we have the metadata. So we can put a div in here and say this is a bunch of metadata, we don't care. And then we have another div that is the audio player. This is gonna be a standalone component. And then we have another div that is the toolbar. So let's see how this looks. So you can see everything is jammed, everything is just like squished together. I want this to be attached to the bottom, and I want everything to be in column. So if I do something like that, so first, if I convert this into a Flexbox container, the first thing that you notice, everything goes in line because Flexbox by default puts everything in a row, one after another. I want this to be in a column, so I need to specify, hey, this is a Flexbox, but it's also a Flex column. So all the container, all the divs, that should be in a column. Perfect, and all these columns should be as big as the container, which is what we wanted. Fantastic. Then I want this, since we have this big container, I want this to be as big as the containers. But the Flexbox, yes, automatically grows as big as the container, but these elements are not properly spanned. So let's do something like that. Let's update the justify actually items. Justify and I don't know if it works. Justify and column. Yes, justify and works. So everything is bottom aligned, but I want justify between. So everything is spanned and it covers the entire area. So I don't really need to care about padding and margin. As you can see, like all these elements here, I didn't specify a padding and margin to have like the usual, hey, put this underneath this and give it a space. It's a Flexbox, flex column, and then I said justify the elements in between. So cover the entire area with all the elements that we have. And this works because we specify a fixed height to this container. Of course, if we remove the fixed height to the container, nothing works because it's just content. And you can do this however you want. It's like you can manage this with spacing if you want, but if you know that you have a specific amount of elements and you don't really care about the spacing between the two, you just want to cover the entire area of your container, just put justify between and it's gonna take care of everything. So let's do this toolbar. This toolbar actually has to be outside this Flexbox container because this toolbar has to go 100%. So if we do this, now the toolbar is aligned. So also this has to be flex column, flex column, But then, okay, we got the toolbar, we get this, flex column, flex justify center, flex column, justify center. So this is not, I need to wrap around another flex. Div class flex with full and justify center, and then I can wrap this flex box around this other flex box. It's a flex inside a flex, and now this should do the trick. Yes, and the toolbar, it's full toolbar, but of course I don't have the justify in between, so I can remove the justify between. And actually, let's remove the height because I have some content. I don't need the height anymore. Perfect. Now I have to do something like that for the toolbar. I can put some BG black for now, or BG gray darkest, something like that. This should be, yes, exactly. And I can put text white. There you go. Yes, that's what we wanted. And then I can put some margin, or actually I want the padding top and bottom to be 6. And here I can do exactly the same as this one. Also, this element can be a flex element, and justify center also as well. And also this width has to be a full width. And then this toolbar text, or whatever content I'm gonna have here, is gonna have the exact same setting of this thing, but I don't think the margin top, so we can, this is gonna be a flex one element with full, not and a max width without the margin top. There you go. Ta-da! We have this, and give it a margin top of 10. Yeah, yeah. Starting to look like, not at all. started to look not at all. Okay, a couple of questions. Mohad said item center, light item center. Yes, those are the name of the classes, but I'm sorry, those are the name of the CSS attributes of Flexbox, but I'm using the classes of Tailwind, which they have slightly different names, but those are the attributes. Duck says, I'm using your Sequelor app while following your WordPress tutorial using Elementary OS. It's amazing. That's like inception of stuff. Like you're using my apps and you're following my tutorials on Elementary OS. It's amazing. It's an amazing Elementary OS. It's an amazing tool. Let's continue this thing. Okay, now here what we have, let's give it a little bit of color. So let's say that this is let's give it a class here. Class to this is uppercase first, then let's give it a red color and text XS to give it like a super small text. There you go. Let's check if we have some gradation like red. Where is the color red? Oh, we have a red darker. And for now, just because I'm prototyping and doing this thing, I'm just using the default color of Tailwind, which are really good. But of course, when I have everything, I will add my colors and remove them. Actually, yeah, no, I cannot do it right now because I should import that in Inkscape and do a color picker. I don't want to do it right now, but whatever. Let's use red dark for this thing, which is gonna be better. So text red dash dark, dark. Okay, yes, perfect. It's actually the red that I need. It's fantastic. Jonathan asks, excuse me, sir, do you know how to get these? Is that a joke? So if I ask this what, you say these balls? If you say these balls, I'm gonna ban you. You know that? It's not funny. I guess it's pretty funny. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. These what? These nuts? Tell me why how'd you get that? I'll keep coding you. Ask whatever question you want. The title, it's gonna be pretty good, the title. So this is class of text Excel, I guess. These nuts. There you go. Ha ha ha. And report. Boom. I banned Jonathan. Great. This is fantastic. It wasn't even a joke. It was it was so obvious. Okay, let's continue. Text Excel, and then font thin. Yes, let's go there. Okay, text to Excel, I guess. Yeah, sure. For Excel, do we have for Excel term? Oh, we have for Excel. Yes. Is it too big? No, it's not too big. Okay, text for Excel. Let's improve this title of the episode. What's the title of this episode? Interviewing Mike, self-taught developer at 30 years old. Okay, let's change this. Interview with Mike, self-taught developer at 30 years old. Oh, not 3 years old. That would be amazing. 30 years old. Okay, so we have the full text. Perfect. And let's give it a font or text white, because that's the design that we want, right? Yes, that's perfect. And let's give it, this is okay, I want the title. Should the title go on? This looks nice. This looks nice like this. So I want this to have a max width of 1 Excel. I'll just simply Excel. It doesn't matter. Doesn't care it is. Max width Excel. Oh, I forgot the A. Max width Excel. Max width Excel doesn't matter. Oh no, Excel, yes. Max width large. Okay, so if I go max width half, no. Max width third, no. Okay, sorry. Let's go max width large. Max width large. Yes, at least it goes on 2 lines, or max width MD. Is it too short though? Wait, full max width MD. No, max width large. That's max width large. Let's leave it like that. And then it's a little bit tight, so leading loose, and then tracking wide. Whoa, leading, no. Leading normal. Yes. Okay, I like this. Do we have something? So I guess this, I don't have any drop shadow here or text shadow here, because the image underneath is pretty edited. So I guess we should have like a gradient on top of the image, but we're gonna put assets after. I just want to take care of styling title, and I can give it margin top and bottom to this, or margin Y for the Y axis of 4, I guess. No, 4 is too much. Okay, margin top and bottom. Say margin top is 2, margin bottom is 4. There you go. There you go. Metadata, I'm not gonna do it right now. Okay. Whoops. Fantastic. Okay, I guess I'm pretty satisfied. I'm pretty tired, so I'm kind of falling asleep. I'm pretty satisfied, but yeah, that's what I do. Tailwind CSS. It's you can see. Sorry, this is Tailwind and VueJS. You can see the process is really slow. Don't get fooled by, hey, I'm a developer, I code in 20 seconds. This is also one of the many reasons why I do the live development session. Look, live streaming is just, coding is really slow. Don't get frustrated if you're coding something and it takes 2 weeks to finish. Like coding is really slow. You can see like it took me like 40 minutes to do these header section, and this is insane. Like it took me so much. But yeah, this is the is a little bit of VueJS, nothing much, nothing special. As you can see, we did mostly HTML, and these could be kind of like annoying for someone that is not used to have one single file with everything you have in HTML and JavaScript. We didn't touch upon the JavaScript part at all, but we're gonna take care of that in the upcoming tutorial. So I'm gonna interrupt. I'm gonna stop the npm server. And actually, I'm gonna commit this thing with git. You're gonna see a commit live. Oh my god. Git commit. Initial work on the hero area and push it to git on the dev branch, which you shouldn't do it, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, let me grab a bunch of questions. Let me answer a bunch of questions. Let me switch back to my beautiful, beautiful face. Commit that git. Yes, Duck. Okay, Duck said, I started watching your tutorials years ago, but got reintroduced through the CLI app. I can't quit this time. There is some kind of elementary OS magic going on. Yes, there is. And there's so much coming up. So I don't know if you know, but there's a Taxi, the other app that I've been coding, and actually is not, I shouldn't take the credit for Taxi, for the first version of Taxi, because basically Daniel Faure, that is the founder of Elementary OS, did it, like did the first version. Like Taxi was a really old GTK app that has been around for so long, but wasn't used. And I was chatting with Daniel. Said, I have a hitch, like I need an FTP client. I don't like FileZilla. Like it works perfectly, but it's really ugly and I don't like to use it. I really need a GTK, like a native Elementary OS GTK3 FTP client, which I can use. And there was this really old project which Daniel converted into, oh, there's a bug. Oh, I guess you can't load this thing because I'm streaming, so there's not enough bandwidth. But yeah, so this thing, like Daniel took it, converted into a repository, assigned the repository to me, so it was really kind. So I took it, and we released the first version, which is just a slight update, but there's so much going on here, which I can show you because I did a little bit of mockups for this thing. I think you can access from the repo, but I have the project here, Taxi, and I have the mockups for the bookmark. So this is gonna be the new version of Taxi. Yeah, there you go. Look at it here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Can I do this? No, I can't do this. Okay, this is gonna be the new version of Taxi. So when you access it, the left side, you have all your things, and then welcome to Taxi. You can create a new connection, and then if you have connections, every time you have a connection, it's gonna be saved in bookmarks. So when you access Taxi the next time, all your saved connections are gonna be there, and you have all your connection you can connect. So the new version is gonna work in a more modern way that the current version is really old. And of course, I'm developing also Akira. These are my Elementary OS projects: CLI, Taxi, and Akira. Everything's here, everything is working, and Akira is here. Look how ugly is this. I'm working on Akira. This is so hard to make, but yes, we're working on it, and you can reorder stuff, and you can hide it and lock the layer, but you can see there's still some CSS issues, and the grouping doesn't really work well. But yeah, it's happening here. This is like, you can move it around. This is a canvas, but yeah, I'm working on it. Sorry. Okay, other questions. Sorry to ask too much, Milad. How about pre-rendering SEO? I heard it recently. Yeah, I just said it. So VueJS as SSR. Let me check VueJS SSR. Server-side rendering. VueJS server-side rendering, basically what it does is renders the page and spits it out like it was a regular HTML. It doesn't let the SEO, the browser, it doesn't let the search engine crawl your site like it was a JavaScript application, but it renders it and spits out static HTML, which is perfect. So it has built-in, you can set it up, it's pretty easily. There are like massive documentation, so there's no issue in using JavaScript, modern JavaScript frameworks. Doug says that only available on 5.0, or can low-key plebs get it too? Plebs? No, it's only, Taxi is only available on 5.0. I use the new Houston CLI to release Taxi on Juno. Sorry, but it's still in early development. Like if you get it, you will see that it's kind of bad. It's like, it's really bare bone. It's not that much. So I just released it on Juno because I wanted to test the release process and the building process, but it's not ready at all. I think I'm gonna do a sprint. I think in a couple of weeks, if I code it every day, I can do the new version. I can release it, so it's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, I wanted to release it on Juno, not to let someone else like maybe buy it or use it and then get super disappointed because it's not a complete application. Can't believe you're doing Akira as well. Thank you, Doc. I'm doing Akira. I'm not really doing it. I'm trying, but it's gonna take me so much. Okay, another question. What about web components compiling and lazy loading implemented in a new version of Vue CLI? That's a really good question, which I already have here. So all the components are compiled by default in the Vue CLI. You don't have to do anything. Automatically, the Vue CLI, when you generate something, you have the package.json. You have 3 scripts available that you can trigger with the npm run serve or build or lint, one of these 3 scripts. In development, you can run the serve, sorry, my throat. As you can see, I'm using the Vue CLI version 3. Everything is coming from version 3. All the components that you generate, all the components that you hook to your page automatically or to your main app are automatically compiled. You don't have to do anything. In terms of lazy loading is done through the router. And the Vue CLI comes with some comments here that I deleted because I didn't need it, but that's what is happening here. So in the router, when you have different pages, in my case, I have the home page, about, and sponsor page. If you import the home page with import like this, automatically it's preloaded. So the JavaScript of the home page or the page that you import in this way, it's loaded with the entire app all together at once. And when you access the route, in my case, the first / the base route, you can load the component because you imported the home, so I'm loading the home component. If you want to lazy load all the stuff, for example, if you have some scripts in the about page that you don't need in the main app, instead of doing import about and get the about page or the about view, you import the component directly inside the route through the component function. This is just ES6, is the same way of writing something like this. This is gonna trigger an error, but whatever. It's the same thing of writing component, column, function, open a nameless function, and then open the curly brackets, and you do an import, and you import your route. This is the lazy loading that is happening. So by doing this, this page and the JavaScript of that page will not be loaded unless the user accesses that page. If you do this, actually, I think I can show it to you. Let me build some. Okay, let me trigger build. This is probably going to trigger a bunch of errors, but I can do npm run build. So this is going to compile everything and run and build my website, which is going to generate here a distribution folder with the distribution folder, of course. Come on. Building for production. Okay, there you go. Now we have, where is the dist folder? I think this, I have to reload. Visual Studio Code is too big for, yes. Visual Studio Code, sometimes you can see that the issues of having an Electron app running natively, but whatever. Now we have the distribution folder, and the distribution folder we have all these different JavaScript files that you can see are all coded in a different way. But the thing is that all these JavaScript files, like this one and this one, are the two separated JavaScript files for the About page and the Sponsor page, which I'm loading, lazy loading in a separate way just from the route. So automatically VueJS, when you compile, splits that specific main JavaScript file into chunks and load only the chunks that the user needs. So if the user never accesses the About page or the Sponsor page, we'll never load those JavaScript files, which is amazing, right? Matt, okay, Mohate, I see LOL. Yes, I'm glad you're having fun. This is fun. Matt D asks, how is your VS Code theme called? It's a material theme. Color, preference, color, theme. It's material theme, high contrast. That's my code. You're very welcome, Hot. If you're wondering all the settings that I did and why I'm using all these like shortcuts here and how I set up all these things, I do it because I'm a crazy person. No, don't save this. I have a video in switching to Linux on how to set up VS Code on Linux and set up all the things that I have. So the same theme, the same icon fonts, or like the same icons of the theme, and all these little components and stuff. So I'm gonna delete the distribution folder because I don't need that. But yes, the Vue CLI is pretty amazing. Funny thing about the VS Code troubles. Yes, he has troubles with this resolution. Like when I switched to a zoom level 4, it said, oh no, I can, oh, a 3 even. Zoom level 3, no, I cannot update the UI. Now it's zoom level 0. You guys cannot read, but VS Code works perfectly. I don't know if it's a Linux version issue, because on macOS I can zoom to 4 or 5 and it doesn't flinch. So I guess it's a Linux issue. Let's see if it triggers that error once again. Save. No, it doesn't trigger for probably. It's just one off. But anyway, I think it's pretty much it for right now. Super tired. Oh, it's midnight. I think I should go. I should definitely go to sleep. Well, thank you so much, guys, for sticking around so late. Thank you, everyone. Even if it's early in your country, thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating to this live streaming. As usual, if you're not subscribed yet, just please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. I'm almost at 60K, 60,000 subscriber. If you don't know that yet, as soon as I reach 60,000 subscriber, I'm gonna do a giveaway, an international free giveaway. Everyone can win. It doesn't matter how far away you live. I can ship it to you. I will cover the cost of the shipment. And it's something that it's really important if you're into recording stuff or you want to start a YouTube channel. It's something really important that it's most of the time is not considered, and because it's kind of expensive and not everyone thinks, okay, I'm gonna buy that and I'm gonna use it. So I'm gonna give it away for free and try to guess what. But yeah, so just share my channel, just like tell everyone to subscribe, and it's gonna be awesome. You can win a really cool thing. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic rest of the day or the night, depends on where you are. Stay positive, stay happy, and as usual, happy coding. Bye. Let me stop this streaming.